What's going on, guys? Band here, and for today's video we have a tier list of all of the MCU shows and movies. um well, technically MCU, we're including the multiverse and all that we're gonna have on this tier list right here. Most of these you can find them on Disney Plus. Just looking at this, I think the only ones that are on Disney Plus are the Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield Spider-Mans and the Tom Hardy Venoms, because technically they are owned by Sony.
Will
Uh,
they also come in Disney Plus later on in the month?
yeah, they're coming to Disney Plus in the UK. Which, speaking of the UK, I have my boy Fallen in here. Me and him are going to be ranking these together. Um, that way, we have a second opinion on it. Totally, not a biased list. This is going to be the correct list, the only MCU tier list that you guys will have to look. All right, so the first movie that we have here, we're just going to be going down the line. I don't know why these aren't in order, but you know what? We're just going to deal with it. We got Ant-Man and the Wasp. Um, yeah, Ant-Man and the Wasp, the second Ant-Man movie. That takes place right before Infinity War. So this movie, I'm trying to remember. So it starts out with him on house arrest, right?
Yeah.
And then Hank Pym and Hope are on the run from the government because they lost their license and all that. And then we have, oh man, what's the villain's name? We have Echo. Is it Echo, or is Echo from Hawkeye? Echo's from Hawkeye, the deaf girl.
Echo's Hawkeye.
But anyways, we have this girl who she was with her dad, who worked either for or with Hank Pym. Then like an explosion goes off, and she has this problem where like she's phasing in and out of like reality almost, and she's sick, and it's pretty much the bad guy of the movie, as well as like this black market dealer as well. That's kind of like comedic relief villain somewhat. That's how the Marvel movies are. A lot of comedic relief in most of them. This movie, oh man, I'm gonna say like B tier. Like, it's a pretty solid movie. It's not great or anything, but pretty solid. What do you think?
I think it's A tier.
A tier?
So my reason is because not only was this a really good like cinematic, the art style was good, scripting was all good, all stuff like that, but it's one of the main key points in the whole MCU to do with the going back in time, getting other stones, as well as setting up for the multiverse of madness, which happened later on Doctor Strange.
Okay, I can meet you on that. A's. I can meet you at A. All right. Second, we have the original Ant-Man. So this, we have Scott Lang, aka Ant-Man, just gets out of prison. He's hanging out with his boys. They have this whole business that they're trying to start, a whole security business. But that doesn't end up really kicking off like they wanted to. So they're gonna pull off a heist, is what Scott Lang likes to call him. And he stumbles upon Hank Pym's house, finds the Ant-Man suit. One event leads to another, and that's how he eventually becomes Ant-Man. And I think the villain in that movie is Yellow Jacket. Yeah. So this movie, I can't rank it as high as the second one. I don't think they're remotely close. I'm gonna say like C. Like, it's not really, it doesn't really pop out like that. You'd agree with C?
Oh, 100%. It was good. Like, don't get me wrong, it wasn't like the worst, but it had so much more potential. Back to a Yellow Jacket. So, yeah.
Totally agree. All right. Next movie that we have here is Avengers Age of Ultron, the second Avengers movie. This has got to be at least B, right? I mean, all the Avengers movies got to be at least B rank, bare minimum. I'd give Ultron like an A. Well, I don't know. It's the least memorable of the Avengers films, but it's an Avengers film. No?
Yeah, but it also goes a bit more in depth of the whole story arc with the stones.
And we meet,
it tells you a lot What about it?
Stones, we meet Wanda Maximoff and Quicksilver
Exactly.
briefly. Not gonna try and not spoil too much
See?
about it. You,
I mean, if you haven't watched it already, it's
what
just
are we
your issue.
thinking? A or B? It's not S tier, I don't think,
A.
right? A.
No, definitely not. It's A, yeah. Harder.
Okay. Okay. Next we have Infinity War. S tier, right? Come on.
100%.
S tier. Easy.
I'm not even gonna have
Easy.
anything else. That's it.
All right. Captain Marvel. I gotta put that in the same tier as Ant-Man, right? C.
Yeah.
Not really.
Well, not C. Not C.
You thinking B or D?
Yes.
B.
I'm thinking E, but only because like everything was good, the build up was good, and the scripting again was really good. But there's so much more they could have done, especially with how Nick Fury got his scar, how the scrolls happened.
True. And it's that is still building up into what the current MCU is. So I could meet you at B. It's definitely better than Ant-Man. Oh man, this movie. Ooh. Captain America: The Winter Soldier. S or A tier for sure. I watched this the second time about a year ago when I rewatched all my MCU stuff, and it was a lot better than I remember it. It's a really good movie. A really good movie. So that's the one where Captain America's kind of adjusted to the modern day after the events of the first Captain America, and I think it's where we find out that Hydra has infiltrated Shield, and then all that happens. So what are you thinking? Man, honestly, it's better than Avengers Age of Ultron in my opinion. But is it S tier worthy? What do you think?
I definitely put an A, definitely no lower. But for an S tier, it is debatable, mainly because of how they betrayed Bucky.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I don't want to think it's an S tier.
Was it that one or Civil War when we get introduced to Black Panther? I think that's Civil War, right?
Civil War.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna put it A tier. Very close to being S tier though. Very close. Really good movie. Captain America: The First Avenger.
First Avenger.
The first one, back in the 40s, World War II. I'm gonna say B tier.
Yeah.
It was good. I mean, with me personally, I love myself a World War II era movie. Always have. But by MCU standards, I'd say B tier is probably a good place to put it.
Yeah, they could have done Steve Rogers a lot more justice when trying to portray how his character started. Because I'm a big comic book fan.
Yeah.
So when the MCU was happening, I was like, oh yeah, awesome. So I reread all the comic books, and they done some bits good, like the serum and stuff like that. That was good. Everything else is a bit more toy boy fantasy. It's like, well,
yeah, they rush him over to Europe, like in the comics, because I'm reading the comics right now. He stays in the U.S. for a long time. He fights like the mob, or he'll fight like the Gestapos, or he'll fight like the Japanese, trying to invade the U.S. Like he does a lot of that to start. He doesn't just rush on over and fight what they eventually rebranded to Hydra. But when when the Marvel comics first started, they started right before World War II started, so it was just straight up he was fighting the Nazis. But they eventually turned it into Hydra due to sensitivity and all that. 'Cause, right after World War II, people didn't want to keep hearing about the Nazis and all that.
Yeah.
I think B tier is a good list though, or a good spot for it.
B definitely. Yeah, there's so much they could have done with it.
Captain America: Civil War. S tier? I think it's definitely S tier.
S tier. It had so much comedic value with what was going on, and the suspense.
And the ending, man. The ending.
As a comic book fan, we've all seen the comic books where it's Iron Man's one or Captain America's one.
Yeah.
There was never any in between. So everyone going into the cinema was like, right,
Who's gonna
Team
win?
Iron Man or Team Captain
Yep.
America, like it's gonna be one of those two. And then the Russo brothers done what they do the best, completely blindsided everybody.
Yeah, that movie was very solid from start to finish, and the ending was crazy. Actually, seeing we see them fight a little bit in the first Avengers, because they don't really know who's who, but actually seeing them go toe and toe and seeing Bucky and Steve Rogers pretty much bully Iron Man, and then at the end, Iron Man just so upset, ready to die because he just found out that his friend Steve was defending the man who killed his parents, and Steve Rogers decides to just, put the shield down, they keep it, and just walk away and be the bigger man. Really good movie. Really, really good movie.
It's solid. I can't fault it. I can't fault it.
All right, the first Doctor Strange, I'm gonna say B tier, maybe
Yeah.
C, but
yeah, I do C.
C
Because they fell so short of what they could have done with Doctor Strange.
It's about Ant-Man level. Because it's just kind of it's kind of a bland movie. Like all the trippiness that they do with all their sorcery and all that is really cool. Like all the CGI effects, but other than that, story's just kind of like it's a slow movie,
Exactly, and they could have done a lot more. They could have cut a lot more out and put better things in. Because Strange is such a good character to dive into, especially with all of his powers and abilities.
He's probably like my second favorite character right now out of all the MCU people. Right behind, obviously, Spider-Man. Come on. Peter Parker, Spider-Man, the GOAT. But right now, at first I didn't really care about Doctor Strange when the movie came out. But then, eventually, his character developed through Infinity War and Endgame and No Way Home. And then, we'll talk about what happened in the new Doctor Strange when we get there. But yeah, C is probably a good place. Avengers Endgame, S tier, no questions about it, right? No explanation needed.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. No, that was just perfect.
Easy peasy. All right, the first Guardians of the Galaxy, A or S tier, I would say, for sure.
I'm torn for that one because I did not get into Guardians of the Galaxy until very recently. I had to rewatch the first one multiple times to actually get into it.
So you're not a big fan of it?
No, yeah. It's because it's mainly because of how they portrayed Peter Quill and Drax. Like,
yeah, Drax is supposed to be like a total badass.
Oh, exactly, and like they portray him as such an idiot, like with absolutely no brain cells, and that's not the case. Drax is going to be a massive strategic fighter. Like he is super strong, and
he's the only person who I have a problem with their portrayal. Like Peter Quill's is nice because it just it plays off so well with Thor's character in the MCU. They just play off each other so well, and it's so great.
So I think that's mainly because of scripting, but I do agree. Yeah, in the comic books, there are characters who like that, but scripting definitely played a big part in Peter Quill and Thor's.
You want to meet at B tier then? Meet in the middle?
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Would I say that's better than the first one? It's probably better than the first one.
100%. I loved it from the start.
So you like that one a lot?
Yeah, I like Volume 2 so much.
So what are we thinking? S tier or A tier?
I want to say S tier because of how the arc happened, like how the story arc not only improved, but then gave hints and Easter eggs to future Marvel films that turned out to be true.
Yeah.
So that's why I'd say S tier. But I can agree with A tier as well because they could have done it a lot better, especially with Gamora's going to good guy arc and Nebula's arc.
Yeah. Man, that's tough. That's tough. That's a tough one. I mean, Uh I'm gonna put it A tier.
Okay.
Spider-Man: Far From Home. So the second Spider-Man movie with Mysterio. I'm gonna say I love Spider-Man, but I'm gonna put it like, what do you think? A tier, B tier?
I say A tier. It could have been so much better, and it was one of
Pretty
those
solid though.
Spider-Man films. Yeah, it's one of those Spider-Man films where I've gone Mysterio, yes, is a trickster, but
Yeah.
they could have done so much more with that character, especially when it was an out of nowhere idea. So it was annoying when they underplayed Mysterio, but the way they done it with Jake Gyllenhaal and everything else, it was so good. So definitely A tier.
So I think, if I remember correctly, didn't Mysterio luckily guess their Earth multiverse number right? Because didn't him and then
Yes.
Christine say that it was the same Earth?
Yeah, 616.
Okay, so
Well, the,
maybe that was
the
them
that
teasing
guy,
the multiverse. You know, maybe that was Marvel like, we got
yeah.
something coming for you.
Well, Mysterio said he's from 616, which
Yeah.
obviously was a guess, which people think he might have done correctly or just off the cuff.
Well,
But
people.
when Christine called this Earth 616, it was more of an accurate telling because she was in charge of keeping data on all the multiverses.
Yeah. All right.
So yeah,
The Incredible Hulk, D tier, right? I mean, just not really,
rather
really
than it, yeah, D tier.
doesn't really have much going for it. Uh,
No.
Pretty forgettable story. Really, really not part of the MCU too much, honestly. Like, yeah, that's like technically the MCU Hulk. I think the only person that's in it is oh man, General.
Robert Downey Jr.
Okay, yeah, he's in the end, but the General, what's his name? General. Oh man, you guys know what I'm talking about. The General who is in the Avengers films. He's in Civil War. Uh, Talking about the Geneva Accords and all that, and becomes the
I know
Red
the
Hulk in the
dude. I just can't
comics.
remember his name. Yeah, I know the dude. I just can't remember his name.
I think he's gonna become the Red Hulk in the MCU because the oh my god,
It
what
could,
what are they
it could,
called? The team, like, not the Avengers, but like they're like the anti hero Avengers, like not villains, but like,
yeah, I know what you mean.
yeah, I forgot what they're called,
Yeah,
but that movie has reportedly been announced. What is that?
mm,
Iron Man 2. Uh, B tier. Saying
B tier. Yeah,
all, well, Iron Man 3 actually isn't that good, but Iron Man 1 and 2, people hate on Iron Man 2, but like, I think it's a really good movie.
it it's solid. It's definitely a solid movie. It's not the best Iron Man. It's not the worst Iron Man. It's definitely in that comfy in between. It's solid.
Agreed. Iron Man 3, I'm gonna give it like C tier at best.
Yeah,
It's just kind of
it was shit.
it's kind of a
It
dumb
was just
movie.
it was so bad. Like what made it worse was the whole thing with uh what was his name?
You
Ronnie?
know, matter of fact, I might even put
What
it
was
D tier because Pepper Potts had like the power that the main villains had in that movie, and then they just never explored after that. So
oh yeah, they
the
nerfed
movie's
it,
just
didn't
kind of
they?
like a waste. And then he's like, "Oh, like, I'm not using my suits again," and then all of a sudden Age of Ultron happens. Like, "Oh, yeah, I have my suits again, by the way," and I'm not really gonna explain it. But I just kind of have them.
You know, I completely forgot about that bit. Yeah. D tier.
Or was Iron Man 3 after Age of Ultron, and that was Infinity War when he had it back? Yeah. It was Infinity War when he had it back. Yeah, I'm gonna put a D tier. That's just eh. One of the few MCU movies I'd put in D tier. Original Iron Man, I'm gonna say B or A.
A tier all the way.
I might just have to put it A just
It's
because it
so
pretty
good.
much kicked off the MCU. It's a classic at this point.
Yeah, exactly. So good.
Black Panther, A or S tier for sure. At
S
least
tier.
that's what I think. Very solid movie.
Yeah. I can't really fault it at all.
Spider-Man Homecoming, I'm gonna say like B. Not as good as the second one, but still pretty good.
I quite liked Homecoming, but it had lots of holes in it that I didn't really like at all.
Yeah, I mean,
Like with Vulture and that.
yeah, it was like the first like
It's
MCU
just
Spider-Man movie. I'll give it that, but I think Far From Home like built on Homecoming. It's kind of, you know, told Peter Parker's story a little more.
yeah. I mean, that's what they were going for. But his first
Yeah,
three movies were meant to be
and
how
and
Tom Holland's Spider-Man is different from the rest of them.
yeah, and Tom Holland's Spider-Man was definitely more likable in the second movie for me. He was kind of annoying in the first movie, but I mean
Yeah,
that's the whole point. He's supposed to be a kid.
exactly. He's grown up. He's learning,
Yeah,
as we've seen in the newer Spider-Man.
exactly. The first Thor movie. What do you think? Like
First
C?
Thor movie. See, it was so shit. I try to keep swearing. It's just
Oh, it's
it was
fine.
just really bad.
Uh,
Like the scripting, having Thor be like a sassy mama bird. It's
being like,
it was
yeah,
wasn't done properly.
he just like got his hammer and then he just fucking went over to I think it was the Frost Giants, right, and started fighting them.
Yeah,
Or then he was almost defeated and shit. No one had to save his ass, and then he
hmm
just like gets thrown to Earth and yeah, I don't know.
exactly.
Not bad, but not really good either. Dark World,
I
I'm
did like.
probably gonna put that D tier.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that.
Dark World wasn't really definitely worse than the first movie, and it's a very forgettable movie. And then they just kind of like, I mean, it seems like they're revisiting the whole Jane Foster getting sick thing with Love and Thunder,
Mm.
if we're going by how she becomes Thor in the comics. But like
Uh,
Ragnarok, they
have you
just like
seen the
completely
new
ignored it.
trailer?
The TV spot or a whole new trailer?
Have you seen the movie trailer for Love and Thunder when Jane Foster and Thor meet?
Yes, yeah, I saw
He
that.
actually asked he asked her how did she get better,
Oh,
and
nope,
when,
I
and
did
then
not see
like
that.
it cut the scene cut, and I was like, ooh,
Gotta wait for the movie to
ooh,
learn. Okay, Thor Ragnarok, S tier, right? S or A?
yeah, 100% S tier all the way. I loved Cork so much.
It's a
Like,
very
oh
good
my
movie.
god.
It's the whole tone of the movie. Like
Mm.
it's supposed to be like super dark, but they don't make it super dark.
It's stupid comedic. It's so comedic and it's beautiful.
Yeah. The first Avengers movie. I gotta put that S tier. What do you think?
That's the Avengers movie. Yeah,
Loki evading the
yeah,
Earth.
S tier because the way they introduce all their characters and how they interlock with each other was so much like the comics, especially with Bruce Banner when he mentioned how he's tried to kill himself before and it just doesn't work because the
Yeah.
Hulk gets it back out no matter what he tries. And that's what he does in the comics. Like he tries to do it, everything, and make everything possible, and he doesn't work.
All right.
And that's how Black Widow and Hulk fall in love.
WandaVision. I People love this show. It starts out really slow. It's kind of corny at times. Um, Not a fan of for kids, honestly. They're kind of just like annoying. But I mean, the ending of the show is good. So I'm thinking B or C tier. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking C tier because it
C.
only got good in last season.
Yeah.
The last couple of episodes, the only way it got good. And it's like, what's the point?
Oh, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Uh, I mean, it's a pretty solid show. It's just kind of, it doesn't really like get better or worse throughout like the series. It's just kind of like solid. So I don't know. What do you think? B or C tier?
I'm gonna go C tier only
C
because,
tier.
like the other shows, they
It's just
get
like it's
onto
like a
it. They
'90s
show a
action
lot.
movie.
They show a lot of things off, and then they're like, "Oh crap, we need to wrap all this up in like the next two episodes," and
Yeah,
they rush it, and
it
that's not
was
the way it
very
should
rushed at
happen.
the
So
end. It was very rushed.
it was super rushed.
they'd do like an episode of like a training segment and stuff, and then all of a sudden it was just like rushed at the end. But
Yeah, exactly.
Loki, I'm thinking like B or A.
I'll go A tier because of
Just what
how
it's
good it
setting.
was.
Yeah, it was good, and what it's setting up.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
Setting
And
up
his
pretty much
arc
the
as
next
well in
Avengers
that
movie.
series.
Pretty much what it's setting up. If you know, you know.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely being baseball.
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi,
I'm thinking A
S
tier.
tier.
S tier.
I'm going S tier.
I can meet you
It
there.
sets up so much, and
I can meet you at S tier.
Scripting so good. It's just good.
Black Widow, I'm gonna say like C.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Not bad, but nothing special. Doesn't
It
really
was
set up
poorly
too
done,
much.
and even Scarlett Johansson said that it was poorly done. Like we expected so much more, especially with her Red Book.
Yeah.
Red Book.
All
It
right.
was shown a couple of times. We didn't go into it, and I wish they did.
What if?
What if episodes?
I'm trying to remember how it ended. I'm gonna say like B tier. What do you think?
Yeah, I'd agree with B tier. I can't wait for the new season to come out, and
Same.
some of them are becoming canon
Yeah.
as well, which is interesting.
Well,
To say the
possibly.
least. Well, one's already become canon.
We don't know if that was
The
from the What If though.
Captain Britain one. No, maybe not. But
I don't think it is. I just think it's another Captain Carter of the multiverse. Personally, that's all I'm thinking. Because her character, the way she acts, doesn't really line up with the What If version.
well, no, I don't think we like for like, but that's because the Steve Rogers in 616 ain't the same Steve Rogers as it would have been in that other Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a rabbit hole to go down, definitely. But I think it's either a heavy nod or it was because of it.
And Peggy Carter from the What If universe, she finds Steve at the end, so I don't think she'd go and join the Illuminati if she found Steve. You know, it just doesn't really make sense.
I heard Steve probably died. In the comic book, Steve does die, and Captain Carter becomes Captain Britain to avenge him.
Well, she was already Captain Carter though.
Yeah.
Because remember they found him frozen in the Iron Man suit. I don't know. We'll see. It's all a theory for now. They didn't really expand on it, and they probably won't. It was just a quick cameo. Hawkeye. Man,
it was rushed again, and when they brought Yelena in, I thought that was amazing. Like, and they'll get really touchy feely about, Black Widow, but they fell short again. They just rushed it, and they just fell short.
what are you thinking? C, B, something
C,
around there?
definitely C.
That's what I was thinking. Eternals. Oh man.
Marvel Eternals.
I don't want to put it in D, but like, is it on the same level as all the stuff we put in C? That's what I'm wondering.
That's what becomes tricky because
it was such a slow movie. Like the story's fine, but it just drags on. And then the ending wasn't really much other than the post-credit scene teasing Blade. But I don't know, man. I might have to put it D. What do you think?
Yeah, I go D. I think it could have done so much better than what happened. So yeah.
Spider-Man, No Way Home, easy S tier, right? Easy.
Easy S tier.
Easy peasy.
I'm not even gonna hear an argument for that one. Easy S tier.
All right. First, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man.
So I watched this when I was young.
Yeah, it's been a
so
while
it's not
for me
very
too.
fresh in my head.
I can remember for the most part though. I kind of want to give it S tier, maybe A tier.
I'll give it A tier because Tobey Maguire was an amazing Peter Parker.
Yeah, he's probably my favorite.
Sorry, an amazing Spider-Man. Without fail, he was the best Spider-Man. out of all three. And the way he played Peter Parker, especially when Venom happened, it wasn't so good. But
Oh wait, this is Spider-Man 2. Oh my god, I am so sorry. I mixed it up. Here, this Spider-Man. Okay. So now let's talk about Spider-Man 2 then. Spider-Man 2, if we're putting the first one A tier, we gotta put Spider-Man 2 S tier, right?
right, 100%.
Got to. Such a good movie. Made a really good game afterwards. For the culture, man, it's gotta be S tier. Spider-Man 3, the Bully Maguire memes are the only good thing about that movie.
D tier.
Yeah.
D.
Just...
The only good thing about it was the memes and how they betrayed Venom. Like, that was cool, but that was it. It was not done well at all. And it was rushed, and even Tobey Maguire hates the fact that season, that episode 3 was rushed.
Yeah, and Sam Raimi said he did not want Venom in that movie because it just didn't make sense for that point in the story. But Sony was like, no, we want to put Venom in, so put Venom in the movie. So they made him change his script and shit.
They forced his hand, which he hated it. And it shows that he hated it.
Amazing Spider-Man 2. I kind of want to put that D tier. I didn't.
That's one with Andrew Garfield, isn't it?
Yeah, second Andrew Garfield one with Electro.
See, I like Andrew Garfield because he shows the best Peter Parker. You know, he's witty, he's a bit nerdy, and he's not very, talkative to the ladies. He's a great Peter Parker, but he was not a good Spider-Man. So I would say C tier.
C tier, put above Spider-Man 3. Interesting.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was better than Spider-Man 3 because of the scripting. The way he acted with Electro was great, but...
And then what about the first one? I would say the first one's better than the second one. So do we want to bump up the B tier, or do we not think it was good enough to really make it up to B tier?
First main Spider-Man, I'd definitely say B tier.
Okay.
It was very good, and what it set up was amazing. They just didn't clutch it in the second one, and then they completely missed the shot in the third. Well, you make a third.
Nope. We probably will get a third one now after the success of Spider-Man. Which, obviously, this shouldn't need to be said, but spoiler alert, if you haven't seen any of these. Yeah, the first Venom, that was with the dude who found, like, some more symbiotes from space, and how Venom came to Earth, and then he had some, like, in his lab and stuff. I mean...
Yeah, that's when Venom was fighting, Iron... Not Iron... I can't remember what the symbiote's name is, but it was that one, and Screech, I think, was in the first one.
I'm gonna say... I can only give that a C tier. I mean, it wasn't anything too crazy.
Yeah, actually, I can see C tier.
Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Better than the first, in my opinion. Carnage was pretty nice. Probably about it.
B tier.
B tier.
B tier. The scripting definitely helped it so much, especially with how Carnage reacted with Venom.
All right, so these next two I'm gonna let you do on your own because I haven't fully watched these yet. Haven't even started Moon Knight yet, so we'll start with Daredevil.
Daredevil, right. Now, Daredevil is going to have to go into A.
A tier? Okay.
Yeah, scripting was so good. How he played the blind lawyer as well as the vigilante. Everything was just great from start to finish.
Shout out to Charlie Cox.
Tied up neatly. Everything was good.
I am glad that he is going to continue to play Daredevil.
Definitely. No one else could have played it as well as him.
Completely agreed. Moon Knight.
Moon Knight. I would say S tier, but they messed up so much on so many bits of the stories. And like I said, with the series, they've rushed the last two quite a lot. So I'd say A tier, just because it was rushed quite a bit, and they could have done so much more with that story if they had more time.
All right. Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness. I have seen this one. I don't know if I want to give it S tier. I don't know. People, it's gotten bad reviews, but like I said, I'm not gonna go off of people's reviews. Um, I'm saying at least A tier. What do you think?
I'd say A tier,
I
simply
just,
because it sets everything up nicely, but it falls short on so much that definitely needed to be wrapped up.
yeah, like with the Illuminati, if we could have gotten a better explanation for that, or if they could have just like shown more of
Well,
it, because it was like they just did it for cameos and that was it. But it's like
well,
you can't tease who you
Illuminati.
teased and not expand on. Like, come on.
So the Illuminati, I'm not sure if you read the comics about them, but they are Earth level judges about the instances that happen on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
So you have different tiers. Obviously, the biggest tier is the Living Tribunal. Then you have the Cosmic Judge, which is the Watcher and a couple other people. I think Death's in there as well. Then you have Earth tier, which is the Illuminati, which is a bit like spacey kind of thing. Then you have the Avengers, which is more of a ground level grunt type judges of what's going on in the situation. That's how the comic books are set up, and that's why Mobius and Madness gives a good nod to it. But definitely A tier.
Ooh. Oh god, I messed
What
up
did you do? Oh,
your
you
list.
broke it. You broke it.
Oh god. Yeah, I fixed it. Alright, Miss Marvel, I'll let you touch this one because I have not
Miss
watched
Marvel.
that.
The second episode's come out today. I haven't watched it yet. My opinion on the first episode is that it's just teen drama with a bit of magic thrown into it. So I go D tier.
D tier, okay.
D tier.
Not a good start for Miss Marvel. Thor Love and Thunder,
No,
we
not
will go
at all.
based off of the trailers and stuff. I might have to give it S or A tier based off the hype. It looks really, really good.
I'll give it A tier because I believe I know what else they're hinting within the trailer, and I can't wait to see if they actually put it in. Because as you can see in one of the clips, there's a massive Titan dead on an ice planet.
Yep, I know what you're referring to.
That's an actual ice god.
Yep.
It's not a Titan. And the only thing that can kill that is a sword that one of the Black Order carries, one of Thanos' right hand men. So that will be interesting to see if that gets put into play.
We shall see. Alright, Defenders.
Marvel Defenders. They're really good individually, but when it's together, it just fell short of the bottom. I go B.
Here.
B tier, yeah.
Iron Fist.
A tier.
A tier. Okay.
It was so good.
Punisher, I've seen season 1 and I started season 2, but then I got rid of my Netflix account. I have it back now, but I haven't started yet. I'm gonna have to put Punisher A tier. Really,
Yeah, I
it's
agree.
probably the best of the Netflix shows other than Daredevil.
Yeah. Punisher was expected to be in the new Spider-Man that just went with Venom being the post-credit scene. Punisher is meant to be in there as well.
Oh, they just cut him.
Well, that's what we expect.
Okay, Luke Cage.
S tier.
S tier, really?
Else. S tier.
Ooh,
It is the best,
okay.
best series I've ever watched. From
Jessica
start
Jones.
to finish, the way they do a Black History, everything's just to miss. Jessica Jones, S tier.
Okay.
Another S tier one. She was so good.
All right. Well, there you have it. This is the only tier list that matters with all the MCU stuff. Now the only thing we have to do is crown the best Marvel movie ever. Does it got to be Endgame, Infinity War, maybe No Way Home? What are we thinking? I'm thinking
Best Marvel movie.
Nostalgia wants me to say No Way Home, but Endgame was just crazy. Endgame was fucking crazy. There are this is a heavy debate about what's better between Infinity War and Endgame. People are split on it. But Endgame
Yeah.
just wraps up the first saga for the Avengers so nicely.
I'm thinking Endgame because actually no, my reasonings will be way too long for a video. Um, but to summarize it is because not only do they explain a lot more into Thanos' backstory as well as the Avengers coming back and different Avengers you see, they also showed every other potential, every other Marvel stuff that was never seen as cameo, sorry, like the Duck, for an amazing
Howard the Duck.
example. Not only was it Guy in the Galaxy, he was in Endgame, as well as some other characters right at the back, and like it was amazing, and it set up Phase 4 so well, and that's why all these series and all these episodes coming on after it is so important to watch if you're
Yeah.
a Marvel fan, because I would guarantee it that the Russo brothers are going to nitpick little bits from each series and each show, and they will use that on Phase 4.
I would
Without a
hope
doubt.
so.
And Phase 4 villain, and I will put money on this, will be Kang the Conqueror.
I
Without
100%
doubt.
agree. 100%. Who else could it be?
He's been in every single series as a cameo and as like in the background, and he's mentioned in every series as well.
They're
I can't
apparently
believe it.
gonna premiere him as an actual like full-time villain in the new Ant-Man movie, based off
Be
the
very
leaks I've
fascinating.
seen. So that'll be
I
be
think
interesting.
my personal theory is that he's going to come to Earth because he captures Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel, and that's how he's going
Oh,
to Earth. Because she is currently MIA in space. No one actually knows where she is, and
you
that
know
is
what I
my
think is
fear.
gonna happen?
Hank's captured her. Mm.
I think he's gonna be in the new Ant-Man. I think he's gonna kill Scott Lang, and then the Wasp is gonna
Mm.
get the Avengers back together to stop him. That is my
That wouldn't
spicy
surprise me.
take. They're gonna kill my boy Paul Rudd. That's how the next big team up movie's gonna happen. Which we also
Possibly.
have. We have Skrull Invasion is coming, and then which is Secret Invasion, and then we have Secret Wars is I think what the new Doctor Strange is setting up.
Yeah.
But I think what will we get first though? Because Secret Wars is
Ooh.
gonna be a big, Avengers type of movie as well. But will we get that, or will we get some Kang? Or is Kang gonna be the ruler of Battleworld? I don't know. All we have to do is wait and see, man. I think probably around 2025 is when we might start to see the setup of, the next Avengers level type of movie. I think maybe even 2024 because we got Fantastic Four and all that coming too. I think they're gonna wait until they introduce X-Men and Fantastic Four into the MCU to do another big movie. But the next one might be even bigger than Endgame, man. We'll see.
If they bring in X-Men, that means they're bringing in Deadpool, and that's it. It's game over.
Because you got to think
It's gonna
about
be
it.
amazing.
The only people we've lost so far that won't be in the next team up movie is Iron Man, Captain America, and Black Widow. Everybody else is still free game. They're all still around.
They'll slowly kill them off, though. I think.
Yeah, I
First
mean,
Avengers Phase 4, they're going to kill off the old guard, the old Avengers, and then the new ones have to step up. And the
yeah.
leader of it, my assumption, is going to be Pym, only because of the comic books. She brings in Giant Man, and Spider-Man is going to be second in charge.
I think the leader's gonna be
Without
Doctor
doubt.
Strange. I think he's
He's
gonna
not
be.
really. Like, I don't think he's the leader type.
We'll see. We'll see. All right, though, guys. That's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed our tier list. I'll be doing more for different topics. Throughout the year, I might do some anime ones like fast food tier list stuff like that. If you guys enjoyed this video, agree with this list, drop a comment down below what you thought, whether you agreed, disagreed with anything on this list. Make sure to like and subscribe if you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.